Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First up, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been yanked after his comments about Charlie Kirk. ABC is renaming the show from Jimmy Kimmel Live to Jimmy Kimmel Gone. Then Barack Obama weighed in on Kirk's death, calling it horrific, but also blaming Trump for division. If irony were taxed, Obama could pay off the national debt by himself. Next, Kamala Harris admitted that Tim Walz wasn't her first choice for VP. We'll tell you who she really wanted. Instead of picking the person she really wanted, she went with the guy who believes men need tampons. Great choice, Kamala. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. You were going to lose. And finally, actress Amanda Seyfried made a comment on social media about Charlie Kirk, and now she's trying to walk it back, claiming that her words were taken out of context. Context, apparently, is whatever excuse you need when people catch you being awful. And then we go to the comment section. First, on the Arnold Schwarzenegger segment, did he once say, "Screw your freedoms"? And then on the segment that we did about Montel Williams, where he called Charlie Kirk's killer an emotionally motivated, love-torn child. Anyway, on Montel Williams, did he once date Kamala Harris? Okay, let's dive in. Jimmy Kimmel's show has been pulled indefinitely after he claimed that Charlie Kirk's killer was a conservative. Colbert has been canceled, and now Kimmel's canceled? I'm waiting for CNN to announce the return of Don Lemon just to balance the universe. Now here's the clip of Kimmel where he crossed the line.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
The only joke there was his writer's room thinking that that was punchline material. ABC says the show is preempted indefinitely. Nexstar went further, announcing that all of its ABC affiliates will yank Kimmel's show immediately, calling his remarks offensive and insensitive at a critical time. Imagine offending ABC, home of The View. That means we have objective evidence that Jimmy Kimmel is more offensive than Joy Behar. People on the left are furious, saying that you should never get canned because of something you say. Unless you're Tucker Carlson, Roseanne Barr, Tim Allen, Gina Carano. I could go on, but I'm short on time. Kimmel is reportedly absolutely furious over his suspension. One source said, Jimmy is furious about the decision to pull him and the show, and he's not going to take it lying down. He's already looking for ways to get out of his contract. Don't worry, Jimmy. Disney will be thrilled to walk you to the door. All you gotta do is ask. Barack Obama said that the death of Charlie Kirk was horrific, and then blamed President Trump for fueling division. The same guy who weaponized the FBI and the CIA against an incoming president wants to lecture about division. Well, he's definitely qualified. While speaking at a summit in Pennsylvania, Obama said that what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific and a tragedy. He admitted that there are extremists on both sides of politics, but then he tried to separate himself and his side from any extremism.
Those extreme views were not in my White House. I wasn't embracing them. I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind extremist views.
Let's give Obama the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was just saying that he wasn't an extremist. He wasn't necessarily saying that President Trump was an extremist. He wasn't specifically pointing at Trump in any way.
And so when I hear not just our current president, but his aides, who have a history of calling political opponents vermin, enemies, who need to be targeted.
Obama's not blaming Trump for creating an environment that caused the shooting. He's just heavily implying it until CNN takes the hint. Now, if Kimmel had learned how to heavily imply something, he'd still have a job. Kamala Harris just revealed that Tim Walz wasn't her first choice for a running mate. Who did she really want? Pete Buttigieg. But she ultimately decided it was too big of a risk because Americans are too racist and homophobic. But she loves America, folks. So Kamala is saying America wasn't ready for a gay VP, which explains why she picked Tim Walz. Harris wrote that Buttigieg would have been an ideal partner if I were a straight white man. But we were already asking a lot of America to accept a woman, a black woman who married a Jewish man. Part of me wanted to say, screw it, let's just do it. But knowing what was at stake, it was too big of a risk. Harris didn't reject Pete for wrecking the airlines or supply chains. No, the deal breaker was that the ballot could only handle one DEI hire. Actress Amanda Seyfried is under fire after dismissing what happened to Charlie Kirk by calling him hateful and arguably blaming him for his own murder. Nothing says compassion like victim blaming from your Hollywood mansion. On Instagram, she posted a comment on another post about Charlie Kirk that said, he was hateful. She also posted on her own Instagram that Kirk invited violence to the dinner table. After the backlash, Seyfried tried walking back her comments, claiming her words were taken out of context and insisting she wasn't celebrating his death, writing this, "We're forgetting the nuance of humanity. I can get angry about misogyny and racist rhetoric and also very much agree that Charlie Kirk's murder was absolutely disturbing and deplorable in every way imaginable. No one should have to experience this level of violence. This country is grieving too many senseless and violent deaths and shootings. Can we agree on that at least?" Let me translate. I'm progressive enough to despise him, but smart enough to act like I don't if it helps me at the box office. And now on to the comment section. The first comment is on this segment we did where Senator Hirono asked about whether FBI agents that are women had to do pull-ups. That was so bizarre. So we had this comment from Jim Schutz, 6511. I think Hirono confused doing pull-ups and wearing them. Okay, and then on the segment we did about the ABC correspondent who talked about the text messages between Charlie Kirk's killer and his boyfriend as very touching, weird. It was just so creepy. So we had this comment from WK Wicked, and I can't say it, but WKEEDLIZ. Is that Wicked Liz? Is that what it's supposed to mean? Okay. I wonder if Hallmark is going to make a card with those texts in time for my anniversary. You know, the way that CNN guy was talking, I mean, they should. He was so moved by it. Just that's pretty all that guy could think about. I think he later apologized. I saw later that, I'm sure he only apologized because he was getting completely skewered online by everyone. Okay, on to the segment that we did about Arnold Schwarzenegger being very upset about the death of Charlie Kirk. Let's see, so this is from Jojo8322. Hey Arnold, I was very upset when you said screw your freedoms because people had a different opinion on vaccines. It's what's just unbelievable. Okay, and so if any of you have forgotten, Arnold did actually say that. So this is just confirming that back. This is from 2021. Screw your freedom, Arnold Schwarzenegger calls anti-maskers schmucks in powerful rant. Isn't it fun to read this stuff now, looking back at what kind of psychos all those people were? Now that we know everything and that was all garbage. So anyway, this is from that article. There is a virus here, it kills people, and the only way we prevent it is get vaccinated, wear masks, do social distancing, washing your hands all the time, and not just to think about it. Well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom, Schwarzenegger said. You have the freedom to wear no mask, but you know something? You're a schmuck for not wearing a mask, because you are supposed to protect your fellow Americans around you. So yeah, he did say it. And I haven't ever read that he apologized for being completely wrong about that stuff. In fact, I haven't seen too many people out there apologize. All the psychos who, like if you were walking down the street and they were on the other side of the street, outside, and you didn't have a mask on, they would give you a dirty look. Those kinds of people, they never really apologize for being complete psychopaths. Okay. And then on this segment we did about Montel Williams, where he described Charlie Kirk's killer as an emotionally motivated, love-torn child. So someone pointed this out. Charles, WV8YX, I heard Montel Williams was once the boyfriend of Kamala Harris. Maybe that's why he is so blindly left-wing. And I had kind of forgotten about this. When it popped, when I saw that comment, I remembered that, yeah, I think I saw something on this. So this is actually from the Daily Beast. Montel Williams rejects calls to back ex-girlfriend Kamala Harris. So, and this in that article, they had this post on, I think it was Twitter at that point. No, maybe it was X. I think it was X. Yeah, on X. Kamala Harris and I briefly dated about 20 years ago when we were both single. So what? I had great respect for Senator Harris. I have to wonder if the same stories about her dating history would have been written if she were a male candidate. Anyway, so he did confirm they did date, and that's all I could see about their relationship. So I know some people have said, was there a divorce that was caused by the dating? I couldn't see any factual information from the stories to confirm that. So I think some of that kind of stuff might be at least uncorroborated by evidence. But what I do have evidence of is they clearly did date. And I guess apparently at one point he wasn't going to support her for running for president. But then I think later he actually did kind of support her by reposting somebody basically supporting her for president. So I guess he kind of did fall in line at some point. Thanks for watching Headlines. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.